The sky split open above my workshop, and fire poured through the clouds. I dropped my wrench and stepped into the red dust to watch a silver ship fall toward the plains we do not get visitors on Kepri 9. We get storms, we get broken machines. We get silence. The ship hit hard, but it did not shatter. It carved a trench through the sand and came to rest in a scream of metal and light. I ran toward it because that is what I do when something breaks. I moved toward it. The hull was smooth and curved like liquid steel. Strange symbols glowed across its surface. They flickered in pain. A hatch opened, heat rolled out. 4 figures stepped down onto the dust. They were tall and luminous. Their skin shimmered like pearl underwater. Their eyes were wide and bright. Their hair flowed behind them in strands of living light. They were arguing. You destabilized the regulator. You misread the jump vector. You pushed the core too far. You always push too far. They stopped when they saw May stood there, covered in grease with a tool belt around my waist. Behind me was a colony made of patched domes and stubborn Hopure. Vessel is venting plasma, I said. If you do not cycle the containment field, it will breach. All 4 stared at me, their glowing hair dimmed. You understand our drive system, one of them said. I understand broken machines, I said. Yours is very broken. They looked at one another. Then the tallest stepped forward. Her hair burned a steady blue. Assist. She said. I nodded and followed them inside. The interior of the ship felt alive. Walls curved like bone, light pulsed through veins in the floor. At the center of the engineering chamber, a crystal core throbbed in uneven rhythm. It sounded wrong, like a heart skipping beats. You are running a triphase lattice, I said, but your port stabilizer has a fracture. Energy is bleeding into the harmonic return bat. Fracture is not visible. Our scans show no damage, said one whose hair glowed violet. It is there, I said. I can hear it in the oscillation. Silence filled the chamber. Can you repair it? Asked another with hair like soft green leaves. Sighed, took a breath. Move aside. For 6 hours I worked. Their tools were strange, but physics is physics. Containment fields obey rules. Stress leaves patterns. Energy wants balance. I rerouted power through an auxiliary conduit. I adjusted the lattice manually. I realigned the crystal core with steady hands. The wild pulse slowed. The uneven rhythm became smooth and strong. The ship exhaled. All 4 of them watched me as if I had changed the laws of the universe. It is stable, I said. You should avoid long jumps until you rebuild the stabilizer. But you will not explode today. They stepped closer. Their expressions shifted from tension to something deeper. You have saved our lives, said the blue-haired sister. You perceived what our systems could not, said Violet. You acted without demanding trade, said Green. Such action carries weight, said the 4th, whose hair shone silver. Before I could respond, they knelt in front of May. Frozen our culture, said Blue. One who demonstrates supreme mastery and courage in crisis is named Prime Consort. Prime Consort, I repeated. Worthy of bond, said Silverbond. As in marriage, I asked. Marriage, said all 4 together. Laughed once, then stopped when I saw they were serious. You met me today, I said. In this day you preserved our lineage, said Violet. Competence is sacred among our people, said Green. Strength fades, beauty fades, skill that creates order endures, said Silver. Blue lifted her gaze. We are daughters of a high matron. Our unions shape alliances. We choose those proven beyond doubt. You have proven yourself. I rubbed my face. If I agreed, I said. Which one of you? They turned toward each other. I spoke first, said Blue. You destabilized the drive, said Violet. I calculated the emergency drop, said Green. You miscalculated, said Silver. You smiled at me, said Violet. He smiled at all of us, said Green. Voices overlapped. Their glowing hair flashed through waves of calori. Stepped back toward the corridor. This is not how humans usually do this, I said. They stopped and faced me again. Explain, said Blue. Marriage, for us, is built on time. I said shared days, shared choices. It is not a reward for fixing a machine. They processed that. Require extended evaluation, said Violet. Dating. I said courtship, said Green. Yes. I said. They whispered together in tones too soft for me to follow. Then Blue spoke. We will remain. We will court youth. That is how for alien princesses ended up living in a frontier colony of 200 humans. News spread fast. People stared. Children followed them through the settlement. Engineers asked endless questions. The sisters adapted quickly. Blue helped our council plan resource distribution. Her strategic mind cut waste by half within a week. Violet spent nights in the lab with our scientists. She reworked our reactor shielding design with elegant precision. Green walked the hydroponic bays beside me. She touched each plant as if it were precious under her guidance. Our crop yield doubled. Silver joined me in the workshop. She learned human tools with quiet focus. Her hands were steady. Her questions were sharp. They competed, but they also supported one another. When Violet grew frustrated, Blue calmed her. When Green doubted herself, Silver stood beside her. They were not rivals in truth. They were a constellation. One evening we climbed the ridge outside the colony. The red sun sank low. Wind swept across the sand. You have not chosen, said Silver. No, I have. Not I, said R. We lacking, asked Green. No, I said. You are extraordinary. Then why does decision elude, you asked. Violet. I looked at them in the fading light. You are sisters, I said. You are bound already. If I choose one, I risk fracturing what you share. They fell silent. We have never allowed rivalry to break us, said Blue. But the risk exists, said Green softly. Tradition demands singular bond, said Violet. Tradition also evolves, said Silver. They stood together in a line facing the horizon. What if the premise is flawed, said Blue. At last, I frowned. How so? Why must the bond be singular? My pulse quickened, because that is how it is done. I said, on your world, perhaps, said Violet. Among our ancestors, there are rare records of shared prime consorts, said Greenwin. The candidate was deemed worthy beyond division, said Silver. Blue turned toward me. You restored not only our vessel, but our perspective. You showed us cooperation with another species is possible. You value our unity rather than seeking to disrupt it. That quality surpasses tradition. The wind tugged at my jacket. My thoughts raced. You are suggesting, I said slowly. All of you. We do not fracture, said Green. We expand. We remain sisters, said Violet. And we become partners, said Silver. Blue stepped closer. Human engineer, will you build something unprecedented with UC? Thought about the empty nights before their ship fell, about the hum of machines and the weight of isolation. About 4 brilliant minds who saw worth in grease-stained hands. I am not royalty, I said. You are the one who kept our hearts beating, said Green. I am stubborn, I said. We have noticed, said Violet with faint amusement. Life here is hard. I said. We have endured harsher, said Silver. Blue extended her Hondi, looked at it, then at the others. If we do this, I said, we do it as equals. No hierarchy, no favoritism. We solve conflict together. We protect this colony together. Their hair brightened in unison. Agreed, said Blue. Agreed, said Violet. Agreed, said Green. Agreed, said Silvery. Placed my hand in hers. The moment felt quiet. No thunder, no cosmic fanfare. Just wind and red dust and 4 steady gazers. Their ship lifted weeks later, fully repaired. Not to leave, but to reposition above the colony as Guardian trade routes shifted. When word spread, allies arrived, technology flowed. Kepri 9 changed at the center of it stood 5 figures on a ridge overlooking a growing city. I still fix engines. I still crawl through ducts. They stand beside me when systems fail. Blue leads with calm. Authority, violet questions every assumption, green nurtures what we build, silver refines every design. Night we gather beneath unfamiliar stars, we speak of two worlds becoming something new. The universe no longer feels vast and empty, it feels shared, and it began with a broken ship falling from the sky, and a human who chose to walk toward the fire instead of away from it. Asterisk.